This is WFYI News Now. It's July 21st, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, WNBA All-Star Weekend brings thousands of fans to downtown Indy for a sold-out game. A new document confirms Camp Atterbury in Indiana is planned to be used to hold immigrant detainees. And Medicaid data will be shared with ICE according to a new agreement with the Trump administration.
My kiddo may be on Medicaid, so if my kiddo's information exists in the Medicaid database, you can find my kiddo, and by virtue of that, you can find me.
Those stories coming up, but first. Indiana's local NPR and PBS stations face severe financial challenges after Congress eliminated federal support for public media. That includes WFYI. Eric Weddle reports stations across the state are set to lose a total of nearly $13 million.
Indiana's 17 public media stations will no longer receive federal funding after Congress eliminated support for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Federal funds can help local stations pay for staffing, utilities, and fees to broadcast NPR and PBS programs. Mark Newman is Executive Director of Indiana Public Broadcasting Stations Incorporated. He says stations must now reshape how they deliver content.
The idea of consolidation or shared services is a legitimate direction, and it's one that we're exploring very, very seriously.
The loss comes just months after Indiana lawmakers also eliminated state support for public media. I'm Eric Weddle.
WNBA All-Star Weekend brought thousands of fans to Indianapolis. Samantha Horton reports players and fans celebrated the rise in women's basketball.
The mid-season's marquee event featured players from across the country. A number of community outreach events took place, including athlete hangouts with fans and volunteer community service. It all led up to Saturday night's All-Star Game with a sold-out crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The event brought fans like Debbie Downing to Indianapolis. Downing says it was her first WNBA game.
It's been a dream come true watching all the most amazing players together this weekend. Just seeing their talents and how women are represented in this game just is insane.
Downing says the attention is long overdue and a stepping stone not just for sports but for women everywhere. I'm Samantha Horton.
A new letter from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth confirms that Camp Atterbury in Indiana is planned to be used to hold immigrant detainees after months of speculation. The letter shared by New Jersey Spotlight News lists Camp Atterbury and Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst in New Jersey to be planned for temporary use. Exodus Refugee Immigration CEO Cole Varga says he remembers when his organization helped thousands of Afghan refugees that fled from the Taliban in 2021 and were stationed at Camp Atterbury.
To see Atterbury transition from a modern-day Ellis Island to a modern-day concentration camp in just a few short years would be heartbreaking for those that pass through its gates in the spirit of hope and freedom. I think this will really cast an indelible stain on our prized Hoosier hospitality for decades to come.
In a statement, Congressman Andre Carson expressed his concern of the use of Camp Atterbury as a detention facility, noting the poor conditions reported at other facilities. Carson said the increase in detainments is disturbing and, quote, without due process, anyone and everyone is at risk, including U.S. citizens, end quote. The expansion of detainment facilities comes as the Trump administration continues to crack down on immigration. And for our final story today, Medicaid data will be shared with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, according to a new agreement with the Trump administration. The information will be used by ICE to track down people who may be in the country illegally, according to reporting by the Associated Press. Ben Thorpe has more.
Medicaid information shared with law enforcement could give ICE home addresses and ethnicities that could be used to track down people suspected of not being in the country legally, according to the Associated Press. Medicaid enrollees can only be legal residents, but experts worry the information could be used to track down the family members of enrollees. Gurinder Kaur is the CEO of the Immigrant Welcome Center in Indianapolis. She says, as an example, a parent may not have documentation, but may have a child who is a legal resident.
My kiddo may be on Medicaid, so if my kiddo's information exists in the Medicaid database, you can find my kiddo, and by virtue of that, you can find me.
Kaur says anecdotally, the fear of ICE has already had a chilling effect on immigrants seeking health care. I'm Ben Thorpe.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Daudelin and Zach Bundy, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.